Hello and welcome to the Hub Superhero. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and today we're reviewing,
Fear the Walking Dead.
this episode being episode 10, I do declare, being called The Diviner, and there's another problem. If the rising tensions in camp are not enough, they're running out of water.
I'll tell you what, they're not running out of time. How the hell do you drag like 45 minutes out of this episode?
Exactly. Maybe that's probably why they thought, oh, if we kind of dip this off as a single episode, I think that's why they kind of doubled up with it.
Maybe, yeah.
Because you're already watching that one episode, so it kind of paces on. You know what I mean? There's enough in the first episode to kind of keep you interested that you transition to the second episode. But really, if it was by itself, it'd just flop. You'd be like, what the hell? They're running out of water, but that's okay because they found out about some big, bizarre market place that kind of quote unquote sells everything. They basically go there. The episode in the place. I mean, you've got Nick melting in the little box, and then eventually he gets let out. He has a vision of Troy or whatever, but eventually he gets let out. And
What was the point of that?
um, I
Nothing
thought
came of that.
I thought for some reason it would have been better if he actually did come back to the camp and like let him out, but I don't know, maybe they were just trying to be like, he feels guilty.
I get that he feels guilty, but it just means like they towered it up as this punishment he's gonna have to go through. He just sat in a box for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, like we said, the episode drags on, so it's a bit more, but that's what it felt like. He just gets let out. That's it. Like, holy crap.
It was, there's nothing to that. It's not like he came out angry or whatever.
No, there's no lasting ramifications from him being locked in that box whatsoever.
Um, and I guess because the people kind of saw him buddy up with Troy inadvertently in the kind of house gunfight last episode. Now they're like, oh, you're the guy. You know what I mean? You can be new Troy, as it were, which he doesn't kind of denounce, and they give him a gun. You can tell he ain't down because his pussyfooting, I do believe the term is, because it's like, oh yeah, let's do this, and in some ways tactically I guess is right, but you can tell that his heart ain't in it. He's always kind of like been like, you know what I mean? It's too over.
He is, but I will say I do find that quite interesting. There you go, a dilemma of now. At least you give him something you can work with.
Yeah, but as soon as his mum gets back, he's gonna shrink a foot.
That's my concern.
Yeah, he's underfoot. Unless he kind of turns against his mother, but really,
I just don't see the show doing that. But I think that would be interesting though, because there was a conversation between him and his sister where she basically said the mother, there's something wrong with her permanently, some crap like that.
Yeah,
I thought that was interesting. Yeah, but I just don't think they're going to go that deep into it.
Yeah, they were like, we keep trying to get her to love us and like whatever. Yeah. So, you got that, and then there's really a bunch of, I guess Nick gets a gun, you don't see that till later on, and it's basically just a lot of side-eyeing, clandestine meeting, and Nick being like, nah, that's not smart. You tell he ain't into it, because it's like, nah, we can't do that, but he doesn't offer up anything else, so I guess they're kind of primitively making crude weapons so they can, whatever. It's interesting they've got the natives have got the guns, and it's like, I guess Jake allowed them to get them from the armory because they need his key and Walker's key, and it's like all the other people can't have guns but they can. I don't really get that. It's like he got a real bad deal out of this one. So yeah, they go to the bazaar and there's an Easter egg there. Like while they're walking through, there's like a Breaking Bad Easter egg, like the ballad of Heisenberg or whatever's playing in the background. So now there's a lot of speculation that The Walking Dead's like a sequel to Breaking Bad. You know, people are jumping off the deep end. So that was a kind of cool thing. And then they bargain for the water. And then they bump into Victor, I do believe his name is. The doctor.
That's the doctor guy.
Yeah. I was hoping I got his name. I was going to call him the doctor, but then I was like, no, we'll call him Victor. We know his name now. So yeah, he's also at the bazaar, and somehow he's got himself into debt, but he's got a little hidey hole there. Somehow it's like, how that's one thing I didn't. How did this come about? It's like in one sense, I think I'd like to see a flashback, but really,
no, it won't be a flashback. It'll be an entire bloody episode. I do not want it.
A flashback episode to find out how we kind of managed to get, because that hidey hole didn't make sense. It's like he gets to this bizarre place, and like he runs up a debt, and somehow while he's running away from people, he manages to like find a hole in the wall and board it up. I don't know.
I'll take that. I'm fine. Don't need an episode.
I want to know more. I want an hour special. So yeah, they bump into each other, and I guess the water lady's like, nah, you're rolling with him. I ain't having nothing to do with that. And like apparently he owes debts to this Proctor guy. So we'll see who that is. Maybe that's going to be a big character, or maybe not. I don't know. Because really, if it is, it's not going to span any much further than the bazaar unless this guy gets about. And they find out about the dam, even though it ain't mentioned. He doesn't mention Daniel, which I thought, wouldn't they mention that? Because I guess they knew each other. And obviously Ophelia's back at the camp as well. So whether they go straight to the dam or there's kind of whatever, but I guess to kind of the episodes write themselves. They're going to get to the dam and they're going to be like, we need water. Oh, by the way, your daughter's at our camp. Oh, take the water. It's going to be one of them things, you know what I mean? So I mean, the episode kind of writes itself. So yeah, and then eventually Walker goes off, and I guess it's all about getting the water or whatever, because he spies the Chinese lady. But then he ends up getting captured and leads them to her, which probably, I mean, you tell that guy's up to something. Maybe he weren't captured so easily. So hard, as it were. And then yeah, he takes him back to the little hidey hole, and Victor gets put to pay his debt. I guess you get chained up and you have to fight the walkers off for however long, basically guard dogs and stuff like that. So then there's a bit of that for 2 minutes, and then he kind of gets let out. He gets saved by Madison, who at first I was wondering how the debt was paid, but then you realise, I guess, Walker give up his gold, and it's like, oh, that's okay. Now we ain't got gold for water, we can just go for the dam.
Yeah, I mean, it's trudging along, innit? I stand by what I said before. I know they're throwing them together because they needed to, but I feel like you literally could have done it in one episode.
Yeah, it's interesting that like this has only got 16 episodes as opposed to the upwards of 20 with The Walking Dead, and they still find time to drag stuff out. They've got it down to an art form. So yeah. And then you get to the end, there's maybe a bit of a standoff. You've got Nick and all the boys on a hill, and then you've got Ophelia, the big guy, and some other guy in the house. And it's like, that's never going to work out. And then they see Alicia building a well, because she's kind of, they give up the walkie-talkie to get into the bazaar, and then Alicia's like on her and like, mum, and she's getting blanked. And I guess she finds the strength inside herself to go and do the well or whatever. So they're digging for water, which you don't actually see. I was expecting to see some water. So they're digging, and then pretty much everyone puts down their arms, and then that's it. So they've been brought together. See, now you got to look at that. Is it the influence of now Walker and Madison's away? Can they kind of come together, and then when they come back, is it all going to be beef again or whatever? Is there going to be quote unquote shit stirring or whatever? I don't know. I don't think the writers are smart enough to do it. I don't know what to think.
I can't even reconcile how it works, because I feel like they're going to paint the people that were there before and the old guy, Jeremiah, as being angry and irrational, but like they should be angry. These people just rolled in. They've got all the guns. They hold all the cards. It's like, how was this meant to come together? I don't know. Maybe they'll do it, but like you say, I don't have much faith in either.
So a kind of non-plus episode. 6 to go. I'm hoping Troy comes back soon and does it big, for lack of a better term. Let's talk numbers. It's got to be a 5.
I'll stretch to a 6. I'm being charitable, but
what was redeeming? There was no good scenes. There was literally not a good scene.
I kind of like where they're going with Nick. I don't see them following through with it, but I do like the idea that the kids might unite against the mother. I don't think they're going to do it, but hell, let them plant it. Other than that, not much, but what can I say?
That's what I mean.
It's like, it's the same. This episode reflects the entire show. It's like, why are we doing this? It's like the people making the actual Walking Dead need a break and need time to film, so we'll just put this thing on there.
Yeah, well, the ratings started off, the numbers, it pulled in like high numbers, and then it dropped like a ton, and it's kind of holding steady, as it were, kind of now, but really, it's never going to be as good as The Walking Dead unless they overhaul it. And I know it's dread for the actors and actresses, but you know what I mean. I think if this is the kind of show where when they introduce a new character per season or whatever, like they do, they introduce a couple new characters in the season. That is very easy that those supporting characters can overhaul be more interesting than the main characters.
To me, this is the most frustrating kind of spin-off, where it's a spin-off that's almost exactly like the show it came from. If you're going to do it, make it different. It's too much like it.
Yeah, but they're in the desert.
Yeah, and it's not as good.
Is the desert not different enough? It's the main characters that let them down. I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
And we never let you down on the Superhero Hub. See you next week episode.